I have bad news. That is pink Porsche coolant. Which means we're going to do something today that I hate doing. We're going to work on my 2001 911. I'm going to need a minute. Welcome back to Catfish Motorsports. I'm Jeremy. This is my 2001 Rainforest Green Porsche 911. I just don't like working on it because I bought this car because I had a whole bunch of old hot rods that didn't have overdrive and didn't have working AC. So I bought this car not to mess with, just to rip around and roll through gears and have a blast with. And to be fair, it really has been that. I've had it for the better part of 3 years and it's been pretty darn reliable. I need to go find some wood to knock on. But it's leaking coolant. There's a bright side to this. I think I know what this is. I dealt with the exact same thing in front of the opposite tire about a year ago. Now at the time, I tore apart the front end and was expecting to discover a cracked side radiator because this Porsche has 3 radiators. Has a radiator here, has a radiator on the opposite side, and then I actually have a GT3 center radiator installed for better cooling. So I was expecting that radiator on that side to be cracked and was expecting an expensive part replacement and a bunch of that and draining coolant everywhere. And it turned out, once I got in there, there's a hose plug. And to be completely honest, I don't even know what it's for. Maybe it's a drain, but there's a hose plug installed in the side of the radiator that sits right in front of the tire, and it had just degraded. So here's our little official part, Porsche part number on it. All it is a hose nipple. Let's jack this thing up, take some of the plastic trim off, gotta take the inner fender well out, and hopefully this isn't too terrible. Alright, that ridiculous process is out of the way now. You gotta use 2 jacks and use the front jack points and then the rear jack points so you can get a jack stand under the front. It's ridiculous, it's a puzzle, but we've got sand under it. If we're lucky, that'll be the worst part of the whole process. Pop this wheel off, it actually has lug bolts rather than lug nuts, which is weird. Alright, I don't quite remember exactly how I did this last time. There's these little clips in here that I'll show you up close. They're plastic. I don't even know what you'd call them. But basically, you pop a plastic rivet out. That removes the tension, then you can pull the whole clip off. But I do feel like in order to get this out, because it folds under, you do have to take some of the stuff under the car off first. So I think I just have to pop this guy out and then I can start taking out that fender well. And it's a mixture of flatheads, or it's a mixture of Phillips head screws. This one's soaked in coolant, which again makes me feel good because I know that's right where that hose nipple sits. Torx fasteners, and those weird little clips that I mentioned. And I've got a grip of different little tools to try and get those weird fasteners out, or those weird clips out. Grab a pair of pliers. Now when I did this before, I was told to expect to break some of these clips, so I do have a bag of them. I broke it. That's fine. So here's a look at one of those clips right here. You see it's got a center like kind of plastic rivet. That pulls out, and then once that's out, in theory you pull the whole thing out, but with these ones that have probably been installed since 2001, it doesn't always come so easy. All right, now to the main process in all this, taking this inner fender out. The lighting's not gonna be great in this, and I know I got you pointed up, you're looking at my ceiling lights. Do the best we can. But all it is some more of those plastic clips, and then there's 2 10mm. I'll get to use my 10mm socket, those ones that people are always talking about losing. I hardly ever use mine at all. I'm gonna lubricate some of these, see if it'll assist in getting them out. Let's try to make this happen. That it came out just like it was supposed to. Pop the rivet out. That reduces the tension down here. Pops right out. Hopefully we're that lucky on the other ones. 2 for 2. All right, I think we're down to those 10s, unless there is something back here that I can't remember. Okay, I think it should just pull out now, and then it all kind of tucks inside of your fender. So I do remember it being kind of a bear to get back in. So I'm not going to take the rest of it out because we can see what we need to see right here. And that does look degraded just like the other one. So I think we are in luck, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get you guys in here so you can see what I'm talking about. We've got our inner plastic fender pulled out, and then we get in here. And there's our hose nipple. And I can see that it's cracked. I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera. This one is double hose clamped, which is weird. The other one wasn't like that. That's interesting. So we're going to pull that off, put it back on, probably with just one hose clamp because we don't need belt and suspenders on this. And hopefully that stops our leak. Again, I kind of apologize. I know you're not really going to be able to see this, but I've got our fender zip tied back here. Just put one of the lug studs in because zip ties are amazing and work for everything. Let's see if I can't get these out. Well, that one's a flathead. That's annoying. God, I wonder why there's 2 hose clamps on this. That's so weird. I can't remember if this gushes or not when you pull this off, so I'm gonna go grab that other one and make sure I'm ready with it. I'm also gonna lube this up slightly so it should go on easy. All right, so now I'm armed with my freshly lubricated and available new German Porsche hose nipple. Just got the first one off. I'm gonna take a closer look and see what that looks like. I almost feel like this one might have been done before, because the other one, if you recall from the picture earlier, had green torque stripe all the way across it, so you could see that it hadn't moved since it was installed. This one doesn't have that. It does look like that hose nipple, so I don't think it's just, you know, an AutoZone nitrile nipple or something like that, but I could be wrong. Big gnarly bug just fell out. And it does gush. Not that bad, actually. So again, I don't know what that vent drain is even for. I have no idea why it's there. This had a big split in it, though. It came apart as soon as I pulled it off, and I almost wonder if that is not the same. That's dramatically different. All right, settle down. I'm gonna choose to use this worm clamp because it looks a little different, it looks a little more heavy duty, and it has a big stamp on it that says Germany. So this is probably the one that Porsche actually installed. There we go, fully installed. Now I'm gonna spend some time going around here and trying to make sure I got all the loose coolant that's just been puddled, because most of you guys probably know this, but coolant doesn't really dry like water does. So you really need to dry it up manually or spray it with brake clean or something to try to give it something to break it down and help it dry out. Otherwise, we'll just find ourselves dripping around here for days before it all gets out, weeks even maybe, and we won't know that we fixed the problem. So I'm gonna do a good job drying it all out, and then we'll put this all back together and it should be done. Here's our piece that we removed. It's got a mouth. It shouldn't have a mouth. And we're done. That actually was pretty painless. Jacking it up was the worst part. I'm not gonna put it down right now because I don't feel like jacking it down. Plus I bought brand new brake pads, so I'm gonna do brake pads while I've got the thing up in the air. If you guys find your 996, 911, or maybe even Boxster or Cayman 2, I'm not sure, leaking coolant right at the front tires, don't panic and buy a new radiator. Check that first, because it's a good chance that that's what it is. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.